what's up? Today we have a PB-755ST. It's in pretty good condition. I don't really know a whole lot about it, except it's usually not a good sign. It usually means water was there, so water could have got in this cylinder and that can cause problems, but it's not condemn this thing just because of that. It could just be bad plug. But we do know, so there is no pull cord, so I don't even know if this turns over. So I think we're going to take off the recoil and then go from there. Let's see here. These are also a little rusty. Let's just hope it's from the rain going outside. Does it still spin? We're gonna have to get that cleaned up at the very least. So let's see if the engine turns over. Let's disconnect the spark plug just in case. Yeah, it turns over. That's good. Okay. Let's go over to the carb station. See what we can do with this. Some of these like to be screwed in backwards. Reverse thread. This is not one of them. So that's good. We're not gonna mess with that all that much, but we do want to look at this. It's definitely seen better days. Can the spring come off? Do we want it to come off? Yeah, it can. It just is on there. Some crust. Okay. I'm going to take a wire wheel and get this cleaned up. Maybe a little carb spray on that. Same thing, wire wheel on the screw. Lubricate a little bit and we'll see what we can do. It's not sparkly new or anything, but it's definitely a lot better. Can't really get in there very easily, so I'm not going to be too concerned. Oh, I did forget to do that one. Let's put a little bit of this down there. A little down there. That's just marble. Maybe a little right there too. Sometimes you don't want to do that because the oil will actually attract dirt, and in general, attracting dirt is the opposite of what you want to do. So, lubricating is not always the best idea. But in this case, it's more or less, I don't want to say sealed, but there's not a whole lot of dirt that gets in there. In comparison, of course. What is going on? We might actually have to take that off. We're really not looking forward to do that. I did not want to have to do that because there's a spring in there. Those springs love to cause problems. Okay, there we go. False alarm. I'm gonna cut a new set of strings or cable or cord and find a handle, and we'll give it a pull. Not 100% sure on where this came from, but it should be at least good enough to pull on. Usually blower handles are a lot smaller, and this isn't too big. Okay, now that we have that, let's pull on this. This is the hard part. Now I need to cut it. Yeah, I maybe could have made the other one a tad longer, but we're okay. So you take the string and you burn the end of it. You might have made a mistake though on doing the other end first, and try doing this again. That's the annoying part about these. They're always just a tad different from each other. So we definitely made a mistake. We want to push this through. A little hole there. And don't you worry, the plastic on here is in no way, shape, or form not sharp. So when you make a mistake like this, you're gonna feel it. I'm going to push that down a little bit more. Tighten up this knot. There we go, much better. Now, we do the handle again. Well, I guess now we can see if we need to tighten or what. So let's do that. Nope. I literally grabbed onto like right there. So we cut the right amount of cord. Okay. So now that looks a lot better. Let's go put it back on. I'll give it a pull, see what happens. Before I do that, this dog was up here before, so it was stuck, and then I moved it, and now it's going back. So I'm going to take a little time and blow this out, put a little oil in there, just kind of help keep it protected and make sure that it moves freely before I put the handle or the recoil back on. Let's take a look at that plug while we're here. I blew it off. Ooh, that's corrosion. So let's do this. A little bit of oil. Now very slowly and pull on it. At least we know the pull cord works now. The primer bulb feels pretty good and it's priming. So I'm going to put a new plug in there and we'll give it a pull. So let me tell you a story. These carbs are not the best. They have a real good tendency of not liking to be adjusted. What I mean by that is the adjustment screws are very small. And you have to have a special tool, and it's annoying. So let's hope that we don't have to do that. But more likely than not, you do. Now that special tool is hard to find, and technically you're only supposed to be a dealer to have it, at least where I live. And you can buy them, but they're really small, and the pattern that's cut out on them loves nothing more than to be rounded off, and you're basically just turning nothing. Let's see here. We have on. Let's do some full throttle. We are on choke. I primed it. Let's take a look at the filter before we continue. Probably should have done that in the beginning, but at least we know what we're doing right now. Oh, that is something special. Look at that. I'm gonna see if I have another one real quick. I do. It's not new, but it's a whole lot better than that. So when we do this, we're gonna have to remember to put a new filter on. Well, let me rephrase that. When I'm done with this, I have to remember to buy a new filter before I give it to the person. Okay, let's see what we have. I think the oil might have fouled it. We're just trying to clear it. Look at the spoke now. Okay, so looks like we're doing pretty good. So what I did is this: put a new plug in there. I ordered a new air filter, new pull cord. I looked at the fuel line and the grommet. The grommet and the fuel line both look good. They're both nice and flexible and appear to have no cracks. They look to be relatively new. I think the only reason why it didn't start originally was because we did put a decent amount of oil in there. The oil kind of fouled it and caused that problem. That's why when I turned it on, it was a pretty good smoke show. Let it go outside, let it idle for about 5-6 minutes, put it on, walked around the yard, full throttle, 4 or 5 minutes. Smoke cleared up majority of it. It'll be a little bit. That fuel does smell fresh, but it's very blue. So that's usually a sign that someone went a little hot and heavy with the oil. That is bad. You don't want to put too much in there, because too much oil, you're going to be, 1, wasting oil. 2, going to kind of change the fuel in the way where it's not even going to run very good, because it's going to be mostly oil instead of the right amount of fuel. In addition to that, it's going to burn very dirty, and there's going to be a lot of carbon buildup on the plug, on the cylinder, in the cylinder, excuse me. The piston rings can get carboned up, so don't do that. So it's 50-1. 45 is fine. I wouldn't go anything below 40. 40 is pushing it, in my opinion. If it says 40, stay at 40. Maybe do a little under 40, but that's still pretty high. And then of course there's those specialty engines that say you need like 12-1 or whatnot. That's an insane amount of oil, but that's not the point of this video. Point is this: we now turn it on, give it a pull, everything appears to be good to go. So yeah, I guess this is mainly just about a PB-755ST. The ST part isn't really too important, but how to repair your pull cord and your recoil. They can get damaged, so hopefully this has helped out. So if you like what you see, keep watching, definitely subscribe, and have a good night. See you later.